Well, the regular season is here, and we have no more time for flirting, folks. We have no more time. It's time to get serious about our business. And Caitlin Clark handled her business game 1. 20, 10, and 10. 20, 10, and 10. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, what did the kids say? Belt to ass? Oh, yeah.
So here we are. The most anticipated rivalry in women's basketball? Yeah, it just went off the rails. And Caitlin Clark? She didn't just show up. She made sure Angel Reese went home embarrassed again. After months of talk, tension, and hype, the WNBA opener between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky proved one thing. There's levels to this, and Caitlin Clark just reminded Angel exactly where she stands. Let's break down the 5 biggest reasons why Caitlin Clark humiliated Angel Reese and turned the heat up on this rivalry for real.
Caitlin, I saw you having a long conversation with the official. Walk me through your perspective on the flagrant foul, and what was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know? If either Angel gets wide open 2 points or, we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
This wasn't some normal foul. This was personal, and everyone felt it. Angel Reese was charging down the lane thinking she had an easy layup, until Caitlin Clark stepped in and sent her to the floor hard. The arena froze. Reese jumped up like she was about to swing. She got in Clark's face, barking, ready for war. And Clark? She didn't back down for a second. That moment said everything. Clark wasn't just defending the basket, she was making a statement. I'm not scared of you. Not then, not now. While the refs handed out the flagrant and techs, fans weren't debating fouls. They were talking about how Clark punked her rival on national TV. When a player gives you 20 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds, that's domination. But when she does it while you're still catching your breath from yelling at her mid-game, that's humiliation. Caitlin Clark didn't just win the game, she owned the moment.
Caitlin Clark putting in work. Caitlin Clark now has the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history. Wait, Ben, the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history? How's that possible? She's only in her 2nd year because she's that damn good. Because she is that damn good. Monster. Not only Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston combined for the most blocks by a duo in a season opener, along with Aaliyah Boston, the 2nd player ever to have a season opener with at least 15, 10, and 5.
She ran the offense, sniped from deep, and made sure every assist, every board, every bucket was a reminder to Reese in the Sky that this ain't college anymore. This is Clark's league now. The scoreboard, 93-58. That's not a win. That's a warning shot. In the highly anticipated season opener between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky, all eyes were on the renewed rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. The game was expected to be a showcase of talent, strategy, and perhaps a bit of drama. However, what unfolded was a stark contrast between composure and chaos, with Clark exemplifying the former and Reese succumbing to the latter. From the opening tip, the intensity was palpable. Reese, known for her passionate play, seemed to be operating on overdrive. Her body language was aggressive, her movements hurried, and her focus appeared scattered. It was clear she was eager to make a statement, perhaps too eager. This overzealousness manifested in forced shots, missed defensive assignments, and a general lack of cohesion with her teammates. The pivotal moment came in the 3rd quarter when Clark committed a hard foul on Reese, sending her to the floor. Reese's immediate reaction was one of fury. She charged at Clark, and it took the intervention of referees and teammates to prevent the situation from escalating further. This incident seemed to unnerve Reese even more. Instead of channeling her emotions into her gameplay, she allowed them to dictate her actions, leading to a series of unforced errors and missed opportunities. Statistically, Reese's performance was underwhelming. She managed 12 points and 17 rebounds, but these numbers don't tell the full story. Her shooting percentage was abysmal, and her defensive presence was negligible. More importantly, her inability to maintain composure had a ripple effect on her team. The Sky, feeding off Reese's energy, appeared disjointed and frustrated, leading to a lackluster performance across the board.
Indiana Fever destroy, obliterate run out of the gym the Chicago Sky, 93-58. I'm no mathematician. 35 points, nasty work. Nasty. Back-to-back quarters with 13 points. Couldn't even get a quarter over 18 points. Oh, Chicago Sky, I had you overrated.
In contrast, Clark remained unflappable. She absorbed the physicality, the confrontations, and the pressure with poise. Her focus never wavered, and she continued to orchestrate the Fever's offense with precision. This dichotomy between the two stars highlighted a fundamental difference: Clark's ability to rise above the fray and lead by example versus Reese's tendency to let emotions override execution. The aftermath of the game saw Reese downplaying the incident, labeling it as just another basketball play. However, the visuals told a different story. Her outburst, the subsequent decline in performance, and the overall demeanor suggested a player who was rattled. This game served as a reminder that while passion is an asset, unchecked emotion can be a liability. The atmosphere at Gainbridge Fieldhouse was electric. Fans packed the arena, media personnel were out in full force, and the anticipation was tangible. This wasn't just a regular season game. It was a spectacle, a showdown between two of the league's most talked-about players. The stage was set for a classic, but what transpired was a one-sided affair that left the crowd in awe and the cameras capturing every moment of the Sky's unraveling. From the outset, the Fever took control. Their offense was fluid, their defense stifling, and their energy unmatched.
Chicago Sky, game number 1, 2025 WNBA season. Chicago Sky, how you doing? Oh, not too good. Not too good, I see. The Chicago Sky, I'm sure they're so... Dude, the Indiana Fever, they just... They beat up on this team yesterday. They beat up on this team. They beat down on this team. They embarrassed this team. They destroyed this team. They ran them out of the gym. Quite frankly, the next time we see the Chicago Sky, I'd be surprised if there's a next time.
Clark, orchestrating the offense, was in her element. Every pass, every shot, every decision seemed calculated and precise. The Sky, on the other hand, looked overwhelmed. Their rotations were slow, their shots forced, and their defense porous. As the game progressed, the disparity became more pronounced. The Fever's lead ballooned, and the Sky's body language deteriorated. Players were seen arguing, shoulders slumped, and a general sense of defeat permeated the team. The cameras captured these moments, broadcasting them to a national audience. The narrative quickly shifted from a competitive rivalry to a dominant performance by the Fever and a collapse by the Sky. The crowd, initially buzzing with excitement, began to sense the inevitability of the outcome. Cheers turned to gasps as the Fever continued to pour it on. Every Clark three-pointer, every assist, every defensive stop was met with thunderous applause. Conversely, every Sky turnover, every missed shot, every defensive lapse was met with groans and disbelief. The media, always quick to craft narratives, seized upon the spectacle. Headlines the next day highlighted the Fever's dominance, Clark's brilliance, and the Sky's implosion. Analysts dissected every play, pointing out the Sky's lack of preparation, their inability to adjust, and the apparent lack of leadership on the court. In the post-game press conferences, the contrast was evident. Clark spoke with confidence, praising her teammates and emphasizing the importance of staying focused.
Not really something you can work on. I don't know, I felt like I had active hands. I had some pokes when our post players were playing good defense, and we'll practice and just getting better in that area. I still feel like there's a lot of room for me to improve. You know, you can get your hand on there and help your teammate out. It makes the world of a difference, so yeah.
Reese, visibly dejected, offered brief responses, often deflecting questions or providing generic answers. The collapse wasn't just on the scoreboard, it was psychological, emotional, and organizational. This game served as a microcosm of the two teams' trajectories. The Fever, led by Clark, appeared poised, cohesive, and ready to contend. The Sky, despite their talent, seemed disjointed, reactive, and lacking direction. The crowd witnessed a masterclass in execution, while the cameras documented a team in disarray. The rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has been a focal point in women's basketball, capturing the imagination of fans and media alike. Their contrasting styles, personalities, and backgrounds have made for compelling storylines. However, the latest chapter in their saga saw Clark not only outperform Reese, but also dismantle the prevailing narratives surrounding their rivalry. Leading up to the game, much was made about Reese's physicality, her defensive prowess, and her ability to get under opponents' skin. The narrative suggested that Clark, while talented, might struggle against Reese's aggressive style. Pundits speculated that Reese's intensity could disrupt Clark's rhythm and potentially tilt the game in the Sky's favor. However, from the opening whistle, Clark took control. She navigated the Sky's defense with ease, finding open teammates, creating her own shots and dictating the pace of the game. Her basketball IQ was on full display as she exploited mismatches, anticipated defensive rotations, and made timely decisions. Reese, tasked with containing Clark, found herself chasing shadows, unable to impose her will on the game. The much-anticipated physical battle between the two turned out to be a mismatch. Clark absorbed contact, maintained her composure, and continued to execute. Reese, on the other hand, appeared frustrated, often resorting to fouls or being caught out of position. The narrative of Reese being Clark's kryptonite quickly unraveled. Statistically, the disparity was glaring. Clark's triple-double was a testament to her all-around impact, while Reese's numbers, though respectable, lacked the influence expected of a player of her caliber. More importantly, the eye test revealed a player in Clark who was in complete command versus a player in Reese who was struggling to find her footing. Beyond the court, the media narratives also shifted. Analysts who previously lauded Reese's ability to disrupt Clark began to question her effectiveness. Discussions centered around Clark's growth, her resilience, and her ability to adapt. The narrative of Clark being susceptible to physical play was replaced with one highlighting her toughness and mental fortitude. In essence, Clark didn't just win a game. She redefined the storyline. She showcased that skill, preparation, and composure trump aggression and intimidation. The rivalry, while still compelling, now has a new dynamic, with Clark firmly establishing herself as the superior player in this matchup.
You got a technical. What kind of happened there?
Amy got the tech?
I know.
Wait, what?
I
got the tech? I didn't know that.
Oh, first of all.
I know.
Let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching the initial whatever happened during the play and then whatever happened after. We watch a lot of basketball. It's a take foul to put them at the free throw line. I'd rather give up 2 points. I've watched a lot of basketball in my life. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't trying to do anything malicious. That's not the type of player I am. So, this wasn't anything like that. And I went for the ball, and that's clear as day in the replay. You watch it. It shouldn't have been upgraded. But again, that's up to the ref's discretion. But I appreciate AB having my back. I guess I don't even know what she did. I didn't see that.
Well, girl,
Have fun paying that fine.